Hello and welcome to Scarf and Shadow. I'm your host, Scarfman. And today, this is another episode of Clix. Now, this is going to be the first episode where we feature a group of characters designed to work exactly together. And we will begin with the reign of the Supermen. For those that don't know, this is when Superman was dead. Yeah, that happened. Ever heard of Doomsday? Yeah, I don't have him, but he's the guy which killed Superman. Hence why he's such a dangerous character. And we'll begin with the characters that are the new Supermen of sorts. We will begin with Steel. Or he was known at some point Superman Steel, or Man of Iron actually. Wait, no. Scratch that. Man of Steel. Trying to honor Superman because at some point when he was working on a construction site, even though he has a lot of engineering degrees and he used to work for the government, Superman saved him when he fell off a building, and in order to repay Superman, he asked what he could do, and Superman told him to live a life worth living. And so, when Superman died, he made this armor for himself using all his technological know-how and the stuff that he worked, and using stuff that he made for the government at first, which the entire reason why he no longer works for the government was because he didn't like what they were doing with it. And he became Steel. Oh, he was named Steel after Superman came back. Now, he has, like most of the Reign of the Superman characters, he has the ability Reign of the Superman, where if Superman dies on the field, who's on the same team as him, all his stats get +1. That's really good. Now, he's known for his armor. He's actually a very popular character. And he's indomitable, so he can also fly. He's more of a physical attacker in this one, but he can throw his hammer a ways. And at some point, his hammer actually does have an advantage, where if his target has 2 action tokens, he can either modify his attack value by +2 or his damage value by +1. It's really nice. Very useful. But other than that, he's very smart and he can outwit things when needed. And now let's move on to Project Cadmus's little science experiment. Connor Kent, or Con-El. Now, what do you do when you have Kryptonian DNA, but you want it to work for the government? Easy. You use that DNA and try to clone it. However, that didn't do so well. So they added some human DNA, and they made Con-El, Superboy. Now, he has more of a telekinesis powers than his Superman's powers, but that's easily understood. See how he's half human, although he's half Lex Luthor. Yeah, it's really awkward, especially when Lex Luthor took over his mind. But he's a bit weak, physically weaker than Steel, but that's because he's a boom boom kid, not a punch punch. He also has the Reign of the Superman ability, and he's no special abilities for himself. Tends to push people back a lot and hide. He does that a lot. Yeah, he has a longer range than Steel, and he of course can fly. Although he is not indomitable, so he can't just move and move. Now the next person we will focus on is Cyborg Superman. Looks a lot like Superman, doesn't it? Well, that's because he made himself to look like that. His real name is Hank Henshaw. Yep, I was right about that. He was actually the Superman replacement that was approved by the president at the time. Yeah, but his entire goal was to ruin Superman's reputation. He tried to destroy Coast City, which is in other words DC's place of destruction. That place gets destroyed every other issue, I think. But that's not quite accurate. He's the only one that does not have the Reign of the Superman ability. Instead, he has a thing called Mental Backup, where you can remove an item that's within a certain range of him, roll a d6 and you heal him half the result. Rounding up, of course. That's just the rule. And also, he can use telekinesis for free at some point to just move any standard object or to attack with it. Just for free. Because he's really just an energy being who's stuck in a robot body that can control machines. At some point, he became head of the Manhunters and joined the Sinestro Corps. It wasn't as big as it is now. But what do you expect? It's a comic book. They improve as they go on. And now let's focus on actually a computer program. Whose entire goal was to maintain Krypton. Seeing how Superman was out of action or dead, this program made itself a pseudo-Kryptonian body and used the corpse of Superman to power itself so it would have powers, and it was the Eradicator. Really cool guy. Now he's a shooter, as you can tell by his energy poems, just implies that he's going to shoot you. He has the Reign of Superman ability, and it's due to the fact that he's a Kryptonian cloned body, but he has a computer mind. He's able to dodge things more easily, and he can take a bit of a hit. But he can then regenerate at some point. Really nice when he does that. However, there is a point in the style where he focuses on punching through people. Yeah, that's not my favorite point. I prefer him early on when he's able to just run and shoot instead of burst over and stop him. But of course, seeing how this guy kept Superman's body and used it as a solar battery, eventually Superman regenerated. Took him about a year, I think. Let's see, 1993. A lot of this happened in what do you know? This is all from 1993. Yeah. I'm actually impressed it was that recent. But Superman came back. He made this special suit so he could absorb more solar radiation and heal a bit faster. And this one actually has a very nice ability called Superman Returned. He can die once and then come back, +1 to all his stats. And that death of sorts amplifies every other character with Reign of the Supermen. Now, he went after Doomsday. I believe he took him out. And then he joined with Superboy, Eradicator, and Steel, all right here, to take down Hank Henshaw while they were destroying the Coast City. Well, he was destroying Coast City, which then Hank Henshaw killed the Eradicator, and Steel and Superboy survived, and he was somehow sent into space as he retreated. Now, this Superman is mostly a physical attacker, very low range. The only person that has a lower range in this set is Steel, by 1. That's because he throws a hammer. No, he doesn't have many impressive abilities. However, he does, due to the crystals on his base, which cannot be removed, by the way, they're permanently there. He has an ability called Kryptonian Knowledge Crystals, which allows him to boost any stat up by 1 only on himself until your next turn. And that, folks, is the Reign of the Supermen set. Now, I may have forgotten to say that Cyborg Superman's a mixed character, able to fight, and all these characters can fly, that's for sure. And I hope you enjoy. This is Scarf and Shadow, signing off, and hopefully Clix Fate will become a more regular series. I messed up this time. Have a good one.